5 seconds
Ladies
remaining.
and gentlemen, here we are. Welcome to another day of DOTA. NAVI versus Team Spirit. It's the second phase of the CES qualifiers. My name is DragonDrop. I'm gonna bring you this game, and afterwards, Breaky will be taking over for Vega Squadron versus Empire, as well as the winners match. A lot on the line here in the Galaxy Battles EU qualifiers. You need to win this semi-final
10
match
seconds
if
remaining.
you want to have a chance of punching a ticket to the main
5
event. Yeah,
seconds
even if you
remaining.
don't then win the finals for the CS and EU regions, you still at least get the chance at a wild card. So even if you come in second in finals, you can still go to the Philippines here into that stage, because that will be also played online, I believe. But of course, regardless of that, you have to win this game. NAVI probably coming in as the favorites here into this particular match, but Team Spirit, well, got a couple of strong players themselves. We'll see with the FNG, who's of course has a long history in the CS region
Dire
himself,
team pick.
and best NAVI, who by all accounts are back. We'll see whether they can prove that right now. Shadow Shaman and Night Stalker, as we have the quick drafts coming on here after the Shadow Demon first pick. Now straight into the Chaos Knight, so max illusions already by the looks of it. So, well, Medusa hasn't been banned out. Might very well be banned right now, considering the Team Spirit. Well, they have that Chaos Knight Medusa considered to be one of
10
the
seconds
better
remaining.
counters to it here. If you go for the Agnum Scepter build-up,
Dire
you
team
can
back.
turn
Radiant
things into
team
stone, and that'll also insta-kill illusions. So yeah, gonna get rid of it. It's not impossible to play Chaos Knight up against, so it just can get very hard, because you need to get on top of her before she can get any sort of spell
Dire
out.
team
Be it the
back.
Mystic Snake with the
Radiant
Axe, or even
team
just the
pick.
ultimate, which also dispatch these illusions rather quickly. And then you can just make use of something like a Diffusal Blade, try and kill her off before all of that happens. But the later the game goes, the harder that becomes, even as a Chaos Knight.
10 seconds remaining.
So, we'll see where they go from this point. Also take care of the
5
Chen,
seconds remaining.
the Navi classic, if I've ever seen one here for general. And well, I've already got the Shadow Shaman Night Stalker though. I wonder if they want to run this Night Stalker actually in the offlane. I haven't really kept up with Navi, just been busy with a lot of other things. They have played it 7 days ago on D2CL Season 7. Apparently, according to the ticket here, it might just been a different tournament under this particular guise. So yeah, it was Roger on the Night Stalker. So it should be, yeah, it should be that that 4 position. So Chen wasn't really ever gonna come out for him. But still looking for an offlaner. Brewmaster's been banned out. That's the big one here that we keep seeing these days. Tidehunter would be another one. If they want to go back for that, what else have they played?
Dire team pick.
Chandra's actually still
Radiant team
also banned out. Never mind, was the first phase ban for Team Spirit. So no point with this one. Instead, Navi will straight up pick the Viper. It's something that Dindy really likes to play these days, apparently. It is pretty damn strong. Got a little bit less one-dimensional here with the patch, to say the least, here with the Nether Toxin.
10
Being quite
seconds
useful here
remaining.
in certain circumstances, just having that break capacity. In this
5
game,
seconds remaining.
well, it's not the biggest of deals right now. Chaos Knight, sure, you have that passive, but, well, you're not really going to be super reliant on the crits in most circumstances. Because, like, if you get your Phantom out, you have like 2 or 3 extra illusions. That's essentially like double or triple damage anyway. And that'll be enough to eat through heroes like Shadow Shaman in a blink of an eye. Night Stalker will not take too much longer.
Dire
Even the
team
Viper,
pick.
if you catch him out like that, it's not going to be the the most difficult to bring him down with all of that physical damage. Especially if you're considering the kind of setup that teams would have, like Shadow Demon into Sand King, even early on, can lead into some early kills. Maybe not on a Tidehunter, depending on how many levels he's getting early.
5 seconds
This
remaining.
is level 1, level 2 is actually still quite vulnerable with only 1 point up in Kraken Shell and or Anchor Smash. But once you hit level 4, it gets a lot harder to just whittle away at him with the right clicks. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Team Spirit try and put some early focus up on that. Try and zone off the Tidehunter, make sure that CK has an easy time farming, because it can be quite annoying to just try and even last it up against the Anchor Smash, just limiting your damage. the same time, you're also going to have to account for the mid Vipers in one way or another. And he's in a similar position, right? Early on, he is vulnerable to this kind of magical damage and setup from the Shadow Demon's tanking. So we'll see if they end up roaming together a little bit, try and put on pressure there. It also depends on what kind of mid-hero Team Spirit want to pick up now. Whether it's someone that can actually contest the Viper, which is not the easiest. Razor would come to mind as the most obvious one. And might even be banned out if it isn't picked here. Other ones would be Puck, which is still in the pool. Very popular hero these days. And what else have they picked up? They actually have played Razor just the other day up against Effect in this very tournament. Invoker also comes to mind. They played Storm Spirit, maybe not so much up against Viper. Not exactly a fun time, but for now, it is the Mirana that can very well go mid. Or perhaps it could also be a support, right, for all we know.
10 seconds
Shadow
remaining.
Demon Mirana combo in that position, not the worst thing in the
5
world.
seconds remaining.
That would mean that you would run the Sanking in the off lane, and then you'd still be looking for a mid hero.
Dire team
But it
back.
seems more likely that it's going to be that mid Mirana and just gonna take it on the chin, try to play around the Viper, stay away from him for as much as you can. And then rely on these support rotations to make things happen. And with the Mirana in mid as well, just the Shadow Demon alone can be the roamer, essentially.
10
Come in,
seconds
try and
remaining.
find a disruption, then you can follow up yourself with the arrow. You don't necessarily need the Sanking
5
there as
seconds
well.
remaining.
He can stick around in the safe lane, continue to help out the Chaos Knight up against the Tide Hunter. Unless he ends up being in the offlane anyway. Well, these last couple of picks should tell us a little bit more on, yeah, Navi. Thinking that as well, that Team Spirit still need that offlaner. So they take out the Omni Knight, came into focus quite a bit recently. And then with the title also picked by Navi, what's really left in terms of popular offlaners? I guess Darkseer could be one. Haven't run it
Dire
recently,
aim
I
Radiant
don't believe.
team pick.
But there it is anyway, alright. Checking the last couple of drafts, and I am not seeing it, but don't quite have the data for a few of these matches because of all big remakes and whatnot. Doesn't show up in the draft overview on DOTA Buff. But in this game, it does
10
make some
seconds
sense,
remaining.
right? You have the vacuum into the Sand King as like the
5
one stun
seconds
combo that you have
remaining.
with that. But if you can get it off, then everything else gets a lot easier. Mirana is the extra bit of nuke damage for that, and Chaos Knight, he wants to just like, he's very happy
You may
standing
now
around
select
in
your
one
heroes.
small area where he doesn't have to walk around a lot and doesn't just have to rely on his W to get around and get on top of people. But Navi, Sven's still in the pool. That'll be their last pick, and the counter pick here in some senses to the Chaos Knight. Very momentum-based hero, but with stacking being super popular these days and teams getting really good at it, Sven has that easy way to farm up and ideally not just catch up, depending on laning stage obviously. Like, Darkseer is not the best matchup here for the Sven. He will be quite annoyed by that, you would imagine here, especially if Team Spirit also commits more resources up top. And that'll depend on how much pressure
10
General can put up in the bottom
remaining.
lane. So these dynamics will come into play.
5 seconds remaining.
But yeah, eventually Sven, he will be able to catch up or get ahead with all these ancient stacks and neutral stacks that they're gonna want to do anyway for General here to make sure that he can get a quick mech or blink dagger or whatever he wants to go for first. Probably gonna be the mech considering. Yeah, with that they should be able to fight quite nicely with the mech and quickly maxed out Warcry from the Sven to just help you up against the Chaos Knight in different ways other than just the cleave against the illusions. So basically the idea with the Sven is you just want to get on top of the CK and kill him before he gets a chance to do the same to you and your team. Which is a very on the nose approach, very straightforward. Let's see how it works. Oh yeah, actually, the stream title, I forgot to change that one. It is Navi
Prepare for
versus
battle.
Team Spirit, Galaxy, Battles, EU. Been debated if you think that if you thought this was still Hotcocks. Debated to get more viewers. 16. There we go. Title has changed. You can stop crying now. It is indeed Navi versus Team Spirit. Starting on the dire side with a classic jungle invasion. Crystallize, yeah. He's not gonna get called out by that. It's been a while since I've seen teams being giving up first blood in this kind of a fashion. Just running into 5 because you think it's alright. Mostly the dire side will end up in this area. The Radiant side will go secure the top 2 runes here. And looks like General, yeah, well, he'll end up in the offlane, he'll pull the creep wave. Spirit, they're rotating all the way around, plopping down the ward in mid. All returning, so they're not really rotating the supports up top just yet. Only the one hero that's DK4 was actually gonna dodge this Titan in the lane altogether.
The battle begins.
And gonna put the Darks here up against them, it should be absolutely fine too. We'll be able to get the CS, especially out of the safe lane, so you end up with this aggressive tri-lane. With Illidan, FNG, actually setting up, and Biver right now is blocking up mid for ILTW. But again, you do have this disruption into Burst Strike, into Illidan just walking up and providing whatever he can, Chaos Bolt and Reality Rift and whatnot. For CK to be really annoying and really strong, obviously he does need a lot of his levels. But in the meantime, he'll be able to farm, but they want kills. They want this first blood. They do have to follow up stun there from the Chaos Bolt. It'll be 1 second, but plenty of time for Bible to come in, and that'll be that. First blood secured by him, just... He was the carrier, I would say, typical carry teamfight contribution, just swipe in for the last hit, but... No, Navi, they already made the reaction. Reaction play, General. Walking all the way down bottom, still holding onto the TP scroll. And just gonna go on him. Yeah. Plop down, 2 seconds stand now by Illidan. Follow up right clicks, and now the disruption. Looks like a little bit more time. It's gonna have to be right clicks to finish him off though, and it's not gonna be enough with the Fairy Fire, barely keeping himself alive. But Anchor Smash here mitigating some of the damage. So yeah. Definitely a statement of intent here in this bottom lane. They don't want to leave, even with General coming back. And now, well, another stun after the mango. Follow-up is there. Bye being body blocked slightly by FNG. Taking up a few tower shots too. But they will find General. We'll look at right-clicking down, but he's level 2 already. Kraken Shell will make it impossible for Bive alone. Roger actually making the rotation, and well, this tanking will pay the price, more than likely. Maybe not. Power aggro being shifted here. Just in time, Roger. Not having more slows available. He's able to juke his way on out. Very close call though. Now, without the Shadow Demon there, you're lacking quite a bit of power. You end up with a bit of a 1v1 matchup right now, with Sanking also being forced to rotate out. He's also getting the bounty runes. That was his main goal there. That does leave us with the Sven up against the Darkseid. I was talking about it in draft, how that's not the best matchup either. So Navi just trying to make the best out of a bad situation out of the lanes here. The only one that will always go in your favor is the Viper, unless you go for some sort of heavy rotations like this here. Nightmare, Disruption into Arrow. LTW didn't quite get the right position. Then he will be just fine. Without that, he might have been right-clicked down afterwards though. With the level 1 Starstorm. Down bottom, Viper's there for the follow-up. He is also not taking tower shots. Another Anchor Smash level 2 at this point. Like, you do very little damage. This is Techie's level of base damage right now. That Illidan is doing. And another Burst Strike though. FNG also coming in eventually. It'll still be enough. General. He is tanky, but not that tanky to just walk all the way from the opposing tier 1 to his own. Alright.
Nice try.
So this bottom lane, a lot of effort here committed for Team Spirit, but they're still making it work. Titan though, level 3 and 3¾ Still getting that. A little bit ahead of the Chaos Knight right now. And FNG and Biber Looking for something else. Roger, just before nighttime, he's the one who's gonna get ganked. Disruption into Burst Strike, into a couple of right clicks. Meanwhile, mid though, there's a Shackles from LTW. 1 leap, 2 leap, that'll get him away. And, well, Night Stalker, going to be tanky enough to just be able to TP out under both of these heroes' eyes. General, yeah, he wants the bounty rune. Doesn't get it though. Nice Burst Strike to secure that.
Radiant are scanning.
A lot of action, a lot of rotations here. Navi starting to try and match it here with the Shadow Shaman. Hasn't spent a lot of time down bottom. Obviously, you want to try and secure Crystallizer's farm as much as you can. And so far, it's been successful. 19-1 to the still 20-4 from DK Phobos. So this guy is level 5.5. And going straight for the Arcane Boots into the mechanism. Already has a Soul Link back in the Snatch. A lot of stick charges here, so he's gonna get gone on. Start off with a stun, follow up with the Shackles. Roger there as well with the right clicks. It is nighttime. He wants to be making these rotations to try and help out, but he's only level 2, so he wasn't even the biggest part of that gank in the first place. At the same time, down bottom, another disruption. General. Well, eventually he'll be killed, you would imagine. If they had a vision here, they just throw them on the stun. Well then, we'll secure it with that. FNG gets a Titan solution to work with for like 5 seconds. Hooray. It's not the biggest of deals. It's a neat little change with the Soul Catcher, and actually interesting to see him go for this build in the first place. I mean, we see a lot of Shadow Demons these days go for the Shadow Poison build. But with the way he's roaming around, obviously, you'd rather have the Disruption to Soul Catcher here, working together with the rest of the team, either Nomrana or the Sand King and the CK. If you're not just sitting in lane and spamming down Shadow Poison onto somebody, the arrow will be tanked up by a creep. And, well, that was a little bit overzealous. Top lane gonna go again onto DK Phobos. Soneko can't quite get in range for the Shackles just yet though, until it's right under the tower. TP in, coming through, Vacuum comes out, but it's not gonna be enough. Soneko gets the last step of damage out, but, well, can quite fly across the tree line. Night Stalker will fall in return. Gonna be nice here for Team Spirit. And gold is shared. But Crystallize didn't get the kill. It was the sports maker. Speaking of Crystallize here, seeing Chaos Knight up against him. Speaking of Soneko too, like he's being bottom blocked by FNG, dragged back by Litten, trying to deny himself to creeps. But they are asleep. Woke up a little bit too late to make that happen. So he's just straight up going to die. Big commitment, LTW also making rotation in case it was needed. They can shrine up together here if they want, and exactly what they're gonna do. Then you're obviously still doing extremely well. Made 37 and 14 to the 20 into LTW. Couldn't really make too much headway. Also level 5 to the level almost 7 on Viper. Just the nature of the hero. A lot of time spent by these supports in these other lanes. Trying to stabilize them instead and just trying to deal with the Viper on his terms. Which is not impossible by any means, especially here if you have the DK Phobos. Despite that death, he's still doing quite well for himself as far as Darkseers are concerned. Now matching this rotation with Crystallize, just continuing to be a nuisance. I'm looking at this mid lane, looking at this Night Stalker, still only level 3. In first nighttime is about to end, which is not exactly the best. Only 1 assist under his belt. And might not get anything else here. Viper, without detection, you can't get him either inside that Sandstorm, so... Well, he's always going to take to the Corrosive Haze. Oh, no, the Corrosive Skin. Corrosive Haze is something different.
Radiant are scanning.
Overall, teams were not with the worst starts of momentum. Navi, though, they're farming quite efficiently. Crystallize has not really been slowed down despite the Starkseer pressure, sitting at 43 last hits. And the big one is the Viper here. Once he starts to roam around, maybe he even goes back for the Veil build. Right now hasn't decided quite yet, I believe.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Like you can throw out a lot of damage in the mid game. You can't take it over completely, especially if you also have a Sven who has max cleave. And you can set up for that. You can be the aggressor. Divert a lot of attention from Team Spirit away from the Sven, so you can start farming up these jungle camps. No. There's one big ancient stack here. That's a triple. That'll be extremely helpful for Team Spirit. want to try and build the momentum even further. Looking for Roger inside the jungle, inside the squeeze. They will find him. TP coming through though from the Viper. Denny wants to be a part of this. Gets banished up. Roger will fall now. Try and transfer over. Another TP coming through though from Seneko. They've already lost the Shadow Demon and now also going to lose a Darkseer. More than likely a Dende. Already threw out that Viper Strike, so now has to rely on his right clicks. DK4 was, well, eventually should be called, and there it is. Double kill for him. And that's not exactly worth it. Like, you kill a level 4 Night Stalker, you lose 2 of your heroes. One of them is your solo laner. That's exactly the kind of rotations that I was thinking about just a moment ago. Just Dendy starting to be active and starting to leverage the strength of the Viper. Next corrosive skin, so he's not really easily killable right now. Almost maxed out poison attack, so damage output is also quite nice, just based on that. In general though, well, he's still a bit of a punching bag. Does have the Ravage to work with, but no real teammates helping him out. He was thinking about it. Probably for the best that DK4 interrupted that with the vacuum. Would not have ensured his survival. Looks like a 3-hero commitment though, and LCW is still way behind. Look at him. Barely has Aquila completed. This was the one, but he's still working on Facebook. It's 10 minutes in. Look at his net worth, 2.6k. Even Illidan, despite all of the kills and assists that they've been able to get, he's not actually been farming a whole lot. So his net worth is still even less than that of the Tide Hunter, who they've been killing. Once you realize that, it's gotta conclude, well, this aggressive try then, even with all of these score points under their belt, it's not really, it didn't really work out well. Didn't really get them as far as they imagined. Because these other 2 lanes they've been farming, they've been going ahead. So it's gonna be down to the Darkseer. He's basically the only one who's got a lot of farm right now. And is continuing to do that. And to take these jungle camps with the Iron Shell. So he will have a mech before long. Blink Dagger queued up afterwards. And if you can then leverage that into some sort of tower pushes, then that'll be alright. The thing is, I don't really think they have the lineup for that. Mechanism will be the only push sustain, and they don't have a lot of tower damage until Chaos Knight really gets off the ground. He's level 8, so it's not the worst. 3 points up the Altera with the Chaos Bolt, value point into crit, and the one in Phantasm. But you can also use it to try and help with tower pushes. And if you get lucky, you get that extra illusion.
Radiant's middle tower
But
is under attack.
still looking for him to just farm up right now, get his armlet. Very far away from that right now, by the looks of it.
The prize is mine.
Well, NAVI, especially with the new nighttime coming in, it is Roger's time to shine. LTW does have 2 more leap charges available. Roger can throw out the silence whenever he wants, but he's not getting any help. So that kill is never going to happen. At the same time, DK4 was also
Dire's
rotating
middle
around.
tower is under attack.
And getting range for the vacuum. I think that would have hit. So he gets away scot-free. Ravage on bottom though, okay. That's a sinking down. FNG also caught in the middle of that. I think they tried to go for Dendy alone between the 2 of them. Not sure it was going to be possible even without General rotating in. I mean, he's done half health after the combo. Gross skin is a hell of a drug. He's also... Okay, actually went for the attack speed over the spell lifesteal. Is that a thing? I guess he's going for the right click build. Message on Twitter. What's wrong, guys? Hawk shows. Oh yeah, of course.
Allies disappear.
I don't actually know how much of an impact that kind of stuff has, because I don't use it myself, but a lot of people do. So I do apologize about that. Good flies coming through. And will be brought down very quickly here with almost the entire team spirit coming in. Now the rest, Burst Strike across on the 2 heroes. Dendy doesn't really want to stick around. The rest of the team already dying. Throws out the Viper Strike, trying to keep Iva away. General also threatening, but without the Ravage. Don't really care about him. They surge forward, another Burst Strike. And start to right click him down into the arrow, yeah? Casual chain feed here, just running them down one by one into the jungle. Exactly what I expected, but yeah, this is what you can do. This is still the weakness of the Titans offlane. Sure, you can win the lane, you can do quite well there, but without that Ravage, you aren't really all that threatening. You don't have a lot of damage output. Now, well, the Burst Strike will miss. I have a very low on health, but there's nothing they can really do to punish that. Still plenty of Team Spirit heals. Night's stun though from Crystallize, time to cleave away, but now the epicenter, they'll turn around, stick charges into another Burst Strike. They really even have to stop here. Illidan comes through with the Phantasm. Now Dragpack and Crystallize out of armor here right now, but the Shackles will keep Illidan safe. Dandy in the middle of that gets stunned up as Illidan falls. The walls as well. DK Phobos, ILTW trying to do what they can. This time, well, they're out of juice themselves. No more mana to work with to finish up either Dandy or Seneko. Team Spirit thought that they could turn this around. Apparently. White have enough power. Well, technically, guys, this is a talk show. I am talking here. And this is a show. So... oh, well. At least I don't have the wrong overlay on. Won't be even more embarrassing. General down bottom, Biver. Gonna come in, they start off and slow some F and G. Try to hold on to the burst strike as long as possible here after the initial purge came through from Kraken Shell. So that end up stunning and not getting any duration off of it, but... well, 5 heroes down here. No rotations here. He could have gotten a Ravage off potentially. And a pretty good one at that, but... one of his teammates decided it was worth it, so... he just takes it in the chin as he did the entire game. Cool guy, 0-5 and 3. So far, I'm not having the best of times.
Tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Team Spirit continue to try and keep the momentum up, but is it really working? I mean, Illidan still not farming particularly well. Ideally, you'd have your armlet like 5 minutes ago. But all of this kill participation, it's not really paying off just yet. As you compare that to Dandy, 6 kills, no deaths. That's more like it, right? He's also been farming next to these kills all the freaking time. So he's sitting at 7k net worth. Crystallize not too far away. I was talking about him having that farm potential with the cleave and a couple of stacks that they've been able to get. Now he has the Mask and Madness as well as the Echo Sabers, who's going to be hitting very, very fast. And level 2 God Strength will also ensure that he's going to hit very hard, at least some of the time. Link Dagger queued up next. That's what they're looking towards here. Probably in the general as well eventually. Right now he wants a Pipe of Insight. Against all this magic damage that Team Spirit has. So Iron Shell's quite annoying. It's mostly against the epicenter, you would imagine. And keep his team safe against that. As Illidan as far behind as he is, he's not going to be able to provide a crazy amount of physical damage just yet. It's mostly what Team Spirit have is mostly the magical damage. So if you can mitigate that, he shouldn't really die on NAVI. Now Moonlit Shadow, they do see Biver get the surge off before the silence though. They'll be fine unless they stick around. Biver just got the Blink Dagger. Also reveal it getting out. But having that available still before the pipe, that's still very effective. If they manage to catch somebody off guard without the help of the rest of the team, they can still burst them down more or less easily here. We've seen it up against General. So one of the tankiest heroes on NAVI right now. Then they might give him a run for his money with the Grosso's skin. Yeah, neither of them are really easy kills. So they have to commit like almost 5 heroes almost every single time to make that work. Which also, again, doesn't really help with the farming. No Midas or anything either on CK, so that's something that see them pick up sometimes. See if they're just AFK farming in the safe lane to just make sure that they can maintain that speed. Because CK not exactly very fast at it, right? You don't have any AoE. To rely on the good old right clicks. Well, I wasn't in this rune. Don't want to try to do anything with that FNG though. Well, gotten into no arrow LTW. Yeah, they did hit a creep there, but it looks a bit. Now General, look at him. There's his team backing him up. He's very happy just threatening that Ravage. More grab around. I like this too. Team Spirit. Try and pick up somebody in the jungle. But Navi, not gonna oblige. All sitting there except for Crystallize, and this is a big kill. They realize it too. And trying to TP out, not gonna get it. Piper getting in range, and this is a dead Sven. Pops a God String, not sure about this one. Oh, you just wants to farm a couple of extra creeps. Alright, alright.
Nicely done.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh. Does the illusion also have the extra strength? Good, right? You get the
Dire's
illusion from
middle
God String?
tower has fallen.
Not sure how that exactly works with the Shadow Unit. Speaking of illusions, so the Phantasm ones were taken care of here as I brought down a tier 1 tower, even committing the Shadow Shaman wards for it. So now, okay, gonna run into each other. Large up to high ground here at daytime, down to half health. Iron Shells continue to take away. Vacuum keeps the naked away. ILTW coming in for the extra bit of damage, but the rest of Navi coming through to get the shackles up. Epicenter being channeled up to turn this around. Triple burst strike here. Vacuum but no wall. The Ravage, the wall but no vacuum. The Ravage comes out to turn it. Dandy still in the middle of that, and well, where's the damage? It's not there. Dandy left to zone devices, and it's exactly what I said earlier. One of these Ravages where you'd rather have held on to it because it didn't really do anything. It looked great. But the burst strike beforehand set up for all of that. A lot better here for Team Spirit. They were the ones who came out well ahead. Roger, alright. They want blood, they want revenge. Team Spirit for pretty much the first time this game they actually got themselves. Well, you can discount that in the early parts. Illidan? Alright, that was the Blink Dagger.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He got deaded, I think is the technical term.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That's still the issue that I see for Team Spirit, despite everything. And, well, the bit of a gold lead that they had, all but evaporated because of that as well. They gotta continue Blink forward. Nice little burst strike by FNG. Plays a little bit further with the drop from Generals ready. We want to get the kill. So Neko was also aiming for it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
So it's just a game plan from Navi working out. They got farm on their cores, and that's all they really need. Also got levels in the offline supports. Roger hasn't even had that much impact this game. Still only 3 assists on a Night Stalker, but doesn't really seem to matter because the lanes worked out quite well. Again, even the bottom lane with General being picked off time and time again. He's got his Ravage, he's still got his pipe. He still maintains more net worth than the Chaos Knight. This is what it comes back to for me time and time again. Last hits you have now 80, yeah. 80 last hit to 191 crystallized, even 130 on Dandy. Well, gets a lot of kills. Couple of deaths here, and if you're not spending the time in between just farming creep cams,
Radiant's middle tower is under
not
attack.
really working out. The Chaos Knight that's not scary in a game is, well, exactly that. Not scary for Navi. And it's not exactly game winning either for Team Spirit. We'll see what they can do though. Blink Burst Strike, they're still working well with these rotations, right? They're continuing to find these kind of heroes. Roger, luckily for him, it is nighttime, so he's able to utilize that flying ability. Oh, Illidan pops the Phantom and gets an extra illusion to work with another Blink Burst Strike, and okay. Roger, sticking around a little bit too long here. Biver committing deeper for the kill. They finish up the tier 1. And they're gonna look for the tier 2 now, perhaps as well. As I say that though, no one Roshan, no one Aegis in their hands.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Trade-off will be down bottom. Snako winning the Serpent Wards because it's the only real push that they have between the two of them. We'll get the tier 1 tower.
Dire's bottom tower has
They have the Ravage, and looks like they actually want to contest. God's Strength available too. So easy. Oh, they actually have the Blink Dagger General too, so yeah, this is the perfect opportunity. FNG doing a good job though, just canceling that Blink. Blink Dagger, Blink from Bible as well. They bring down Roche, Crystallize, they gets a double stun here. And, well, Chaos Knight will have to pop it immediately out to W. Not in fighting shape. Navi in the middle of the pit. It did lose to Neko here, but it was the entire team's turn making work. Nice little burst strike with General. Purges off the stun, gets a Ravage off, and this time Sven, right in the middle of that, gets stunned up by an arrow or something, but now back into the fray. Stun up on Darkseer, just leaves Illidan for General to finish off. Dominator his way out. And, well, he requires some extra help. Crystallize with another blink available, and there it is. They see him. Burst strike, keeping him safe one more time, though, and another banishment. They're trying to prevent a stab on Illidan as best they can. Rana, well, he doesn't have the same protection, and he's cutting up to the north. Instead, they'll settle for FNG. They're still hunting. Does he have a TP scroll? That's the next question. Yes, he does. Alright. FNG giving his life for his carry, and Illidan making a great escape.
Dire's top tower is
But
under
make no
attack.
mistake, that was still a disaster for Team Spirit. They lost the Aegis, they lost IL2W, who's, well, I don't want to say that didn't have an impact, because he's 5-1-6, he's got his mental style, like, but it doesn't feel like enough because of the position that they're in as a team in this game right now. Well, they're going to get the Aegis themselves, but just a little bit quicker. And if it wasn't for the placement Team Spirit, like FNG was spamming Shadow Poison up on the high ground, so that was always going to prevent the blink in from Tidehunter. So they had to come in a little bit slower, but committing like 3 heroes up there was not just FNG, it was also Fiverr blinking in. Now, well, blinking in again. Yeah, Epicenter coming through in the back. No burst strike, not enough mana for it until pops the stick charges. So it still finds Snake as well as Crystallize with the entire team there, and Dandy next on the list. Straight up power overwhelming here for Team Spirit. Navi not ready to react. Again, Team Spirit exploit their one weakness that they have without the Ravage. They don't want to fight, so they don't group up. Team Spirit barreling down middle lane. They also have a catapult, they have the Phantasm plus the disruption illusions. Quite a few CKs here wailing away at the tower.
Radiant structures are
They're back up in 10, but you don't actually have either Dandy or Sven, so can they stop this? I don't think they can actually. And, well, Navi, they has a plan. General trying to slow them down. Snake's there, has the wards. Trying to bring down Illidan, but forced off the out of it. Nice little burst strike as well. Into the immediate blink out. So Team Spirit. You're turning around. Snake slowed down General. Again, no Ravage, so no reason to stop. Snake will fall immediately. Roger brought down again. 4 seconds stun just to have the icing on the cake, and I do not agree with that Ravage. You need to wait for Sven, or at least then need to come in. Without that, you just don't have damage. Well, Navi, at the very least, they keep their Rex alive, so can't really fault them too much, I guess. Yeah. Maybe I've been discounting Team Spirit's plans a little bit too much. I've been hopping on about Chaos Knight not being super scary. He doesn't really have the ability to one-shot too many people. But he still have the extra illusions in the Shadow Demon. Can still get lucky with the extra illusion. Phantom is still having an impact, especially if you can find the initiation, right? Find the quick kill. And if you can play around the Ravage. Because Navi, they're relying on that. As well as Neko even to get in, provide that extra bit of control. Together with Crystallize to have the God Strength available and be ready at the right time. If Navi don't get that proper chain of events going their way, then actually remarkably fragile as well as getting that damage output. We saw it just then in that mid push. So it doesn't really matter that Chaos Knight isn't as strong individually, because the team as a whole can still get these kills rather quickly if they work together. Build Scepter now on Byver. The blink falls off. He's actually pretty farmed for support. Those ones are teams where it is FNG who's working for the on the Aghanim Scepter. So it does turn Demonic Purge into charges top lane. Alright. Poor Byver, just as I talked about him having a lot of farm. He gets picked up. But now it's Navi's turn again. They have another Ravage. try to pressure racks of their own. Same time down bottom though. Well, Illidan pops the Phantasm, doesn't get the extra illusion. Gonna leave them down here. Top lane, or FNU just gets annihilated. Navi blinking in. Gonna get those racks very quickly indeed. A vacuum. Waldo trying to turn us around. They instantly get the sniper on Soneko, but decompose such a way before he gets silenced up. Crystallize will finish the racks, and now try and either focus on more heroes or get themselves out, because I don't think it's worth staying around for the ranged racks. The Wolves will take care of that just fine. We were mid though. Well, that was a job on Phantom Illusions. Raid 1 for 1.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Navi, they want more. Out of vision here. It is nighttime, so they have a bit of an advantage with Roger.
Dire's top shrine
Wasn't on the
is
front
under
lines
attack.
though, so it didn't actually provide anything. Well, they have the ward there anyway. Also like how it's further back, because normally you just plop a sentry down here in the front. And that kind of standard sentry will not de-ward that. I don't believe that they have a gem either on the side of Team Spirit. Surely eventually Chaos Knight will catch up. Looks like he's going for the Talbot. Pretty useful, considering that you have a Sven on the other team, and even Dandy, he went for his right-click build. Also on the attack speed. Attack range is not quite that important. We'd rather have the corrosive skin stats. Afterwards, well, you don't need to poison attack. Effects building is kind of a garbage talent, so still gonna go for the Viper Strike DPS. Plus 120 damage. It's very nice to have at level 25 indeed. You can be that secondary DPS that Navi needs. Now, good. Initiated on here with the hacks, but turn around on Chaos Knight doesn't have Phantom with Desert Ravage on Diablo out to everybody. Crystallize right on top. Chopping down the CK. Apocalyptic Horseman FNG slowing down Crystallize here with his ultimate. Still getting right kicked down a little bit by Dandy. Not slowed at all, so FNG will fall. LTW trying to continue to see what he can get. Nice little dodge there actually on a Stormhammer. Good Manta style, but Team Spirit still lost two heroes. Not quite ready there, and these are the kind of initiations that Navi are looking for. Forward with the Hex, with the Blink Ravage, and might want to think about getting some BKBs here in the start of Team Spirit. Darkseer has it queued up right now. Middle lane, Fiverr. Alright. He was just trying to keep the lane pushed out as far as he could, but didn't quite back off in time. But yeah, BKB in the works on Darkseer. Probably the most important one. If he doesn't get stunned up by the Ravage, and he can get the vacuum wall off. And at this point, I mean, the stronger Sven gets, stronger Viper gets, more importantly here, the stronger wall illusions become to help you out, and even the odds to some extent. LTW has the Mjolnir completed. Might want to get a BKB herself now. Funny how it can do that, just blink out of that, but obviously it doesn't do damage. This game, in terms of net worth, it's been remarkably even. Especially with the last series of events, Navi have been able to equalize it almost straight away here after that. After the big of a boost for Team Spirit. Didn't last long at all. We're slowly but surely heading towards that late game. Sven is getting bigger and bigger. 60k net worth on him now. He has his own BKB, showing off in that last fight. That makes it very hard for Team Spirit indeed. Try and control him up even. They still have this Demonic Purge, and they will have a couple of extra charges on that eventually. FNG, not exactly known to be best farmer either, and doesn't have any sort of GPM talent. Gonna be a while until he actually finishes off that Agnum Scepter. Until then, he's just gonna have to hold on to the Demonic Purge for Sven in his BKB form. You know, trying to make sure fight him around as long as you can. But that won't really help you against an initial jump, initial burst of one of these heroes. And if that is FNG, well, can't really cast Demonic Purge from the grave. 5-minute smoke. Not been spotted out here. Illidan showing himself. So But you really need to also get a beat on the other heroes. Viper, well, let's see him with the ward. Gonna go on him instead. Much easier target. Oh, FNG is showing himself, yeah. That's one that you have to look towards. Vacuum wall here, but, well. It's FNG actually, yeah. Now he managed to make his way out with Moon Shadow too, so NAVI actually botched up the initiation. Now they can start to turn things around. No more BKB. Crystallize, slow down. There's a Ravage though. They haven't expanded that just yet. Crystallize with another blink in, but stunned up. No one's dead just yet. Even LTW surviving in the side there. And another BKB used. This time on Danny is trying to run down anybody, but there's a lot of spells used and no one's really died just yet. Viper. Walking forward, another burst strike, push off immediately. General 4 seconds done though, and yeah, he's left for dead by the rest of his team. Very confused. I was ready to shout out kills and seeing a team fight snowball in one way or another, but now it might actually very well in favor of Team Spirit Crystallize. What was that? So sticking around on mid while the rest of his team was continuing to retreat. That was just greedy. Nothing more to say there, but yeah. As a result, this Roshan will actually go in favor of Team Spirit. This was the reason why Navi went for the smoke. But it really wanted to make a team fight happen. But the target fire just wasn't there. After Ravage, right? LZW dropped super low, but Crystallize went on the other direction, got stunned up again. Team Spirit just kiting him around so well. Oh. Bit of a lag spike. Hopefully it'll stabilize in a second. Yeah, we're right back. The kiting around Sven so very well. Especially here, since they've been able to kite out that BKB initially. I was questioning here this vacuum wall, but FNG able to extricate himself that time. Still staying alive here for the demonic purge. Extra spells and all the shout out to Viper. Finding these burrow strikes here with the BKB on cooldown. Well, gonna be his job this game. Slowing down Sven, keeping them guessing, kiting around while then trying to find ways to poke in, get some kills himself. This team will realize without these big jumps, without Crystallize being able to dish out the damage, Team Spirit's actually in a good spot. The smoke will be broken immediately here by Roger, who has an Axe Gem. You have the vision advantage. Moonlit Shadow will not really do too much against them. It's one of these situations where you still go back for that build. Not always necessary on Night Stalkers, but up against Mirana, against his invis potential. You want that, so nighttime's still lasting for 4 minutes, it's just a fresh one. By the time it ends, you'll have enough darkness available again to extend it.
Radiant's bottom shrine is under attack.
There's more from General now B this time around. Spotted out too though.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Can they find something here? They're a little bit split up. FNG is showing himself, maybe baiting out a little bit for now. DKFO didn't quite get the memo. Is going to be brought down. Surge not going to be enough. At the same time, the Hex and Chaos Knight. That's a much bigger kill even. Crystallize will still take a while to burst through him, get stunned up, but well, then no BKB or anything. We'll lose the Aegis immediately, and we'll lose the second life too. Instant Hex. And Russell's team not coming in. He had a BKB there. Maybe they can make the call. Alright. Buy back on Darcia.
Dire's bottom shrine is
EP to
under
Shrine on tier 2 and try and fight this, but as it stands, they just lost the huge advantage here that they gained off of that series of events before the Roshan. Still have the cheese. It's on LTW. Navi barreling down at this bottom lane. They haven't even had to use the Ravage. But big threat is still available to Crystallize. Well, trying to burst down. FNG is still alive, and the buybacks from both of these heroes now have finally come out. DKF over the mid with the Genius trying to slow people down. General, last man standing up on the high ground here for Navi and gets a Ravage off on absolutely everybody. Denny stuns right away. Crystallize though, well, doesn't have the God Strength available just yet for another 10 seconds. So again, one of these Ravages where they can't immediately follow up with anything. Seneko will have to give up his life for the cause, or the rest of his team retreats. Crystallize. Oh, BKB TP. Alright. Didn't quite cancel that one. That was still pretty good for Navi, though. They get another tier 3 tower. They force out 2 buybacks, one of them on the Chaos Knight. So if they kill him one more time, should have an easy time going forward. They didn't lose any of the cores, they only lost Neko.
Bounty.
Navi never really been that far ahead in terms of net worth. Neither team really has for long. Momentum just shifts time and time again, even now. With the Ravage on cooldown, there is an opportunity for Team Spirit to make something happen down in the bottom lane. They also have the Phantasm. They have ILTW turning into a decent right click here with the Mjolnir. Walk into them. Are they Blink Burst Strike? But hey, guess what? Lincoln Sphere. Not the most common item on Sven, so every fault not expecting. They're still gonna take the fight, Crystallize. But the Yule Scepter trying to lay him a little bit. They will take care of the Phantasm Illusions. But those won't help Team Spirit to win this fight now. The BKB on Danny as Ilden comes in again. He hacks, but searched away. Crystallize Blink forward on DKFO with Epicenter. Being completely wasted. Navi, they're on the run, on the hunt. Forcing Team Spirit to be on the run. Ivor. Oh, looks like he gives his life, but just baiting them. They're gonna bring down Shaman. The Phantasm Structure coming through as Crystallize finally pops his own BKB. Ildo down to half health. Stand up on a Viper here. He needs to try and find some right clicks, but they're all so damn healthy still. Another Burst Strike in both of these cores. Folks coming in. Dandy, well, he'll eventually fall after Hurricane Pike. LTW, he's the one finally pulling his weight after this disastrous laning stage, and well, double kill for him. Now it is Navi who get turned around on. These fights just back and forth like this entire game. Roger will be a triple kill for LTW. End of that team fight. Ravage is available again. General. Well, he doesn't have his Viper. They will have Sven with God Strength. They're really gonna have to pull it out if they want to save the racks. At the very least, Team Spirit cannot get Megas.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, considering the way these last couple of times went with Blink Ravage without enough follow-up, I can't really blame him. Not even going for that. You need your entire team at this point. It's so odd to see the CK not doing well at all in terms of net worth, but his team still like, keeping themselves in the game and even winning. At least for right now. We'll see whether that'll last. I wouldn't be too surprised if Navi could turn this around somehow with Team Spirit being the one to overextend, but well, Rex up now. They play this out properly, then
I'll take your tribute.
should be fine. Also recovered the gem here from Roger. Like they're using these tools that they have very well throughout the entire game, and the longer the game goes, you get more of these to work with. Like the old stuff from Ivor. Continue to help the kite around Crystallize. Whose BKB is done 6 seconds now. Not a long time at all. 7 seconds on Viper. Start the round 2 issues. Especially if you put that in conjunction with all the mobility the teams would have. When the Blink Daggers, the leaps, surges. Yeah, I'm gonna shadow forward. Blink Burst Strike onto General. Okay, yeah, he's just melts. Power of these CK illusions if you have them. Blink Yules here, forcing Neko. And very quick one. And he even gives them the extra walls to farm up. Which is a big question mark. Now Roshan waiting for him. It may respawn in 17 seconds if it's a really quick one. And it will be very much in favor of Team Spirit. Ibeck already used from General here. They need that threat of the Ravage. Make Team Spirit think twice about continuing. Maybe back off and wait for this Roshan. 50 seconds on the clock right now. Good, well, why don't set up for that? Push down top lane. Ideally get some vision out there. Have they have this one on the right hand side of the Rosh. And it kind of sees across, but not quite, so you want one either up here and up here, or one a little bit further down. Doesn't look like they have too many more wards though right now. Yeah, there's one more available here. FOG bring that one out. And
Radiant's top shrine
well,
is under
now you
attack.
know that Roche has the potential sooner rather than later, so gonna have to try and contest this area. I don't think they're gonna win this game with Aegis Cheese and Refresher Shard in hands of Team Spirit. ED Rune, well, Roger. Does not reveal himself, still has the vision advantage. Got himself another gem. Oh well. Unable to deny the DD, unfortunately, but well, at least it doesn't get caught out. That would be disastrous indeed. I will scout out the fact that Roshan is there for Team Spirit. Both teams on the same page there. They get rid of the vision up high ground. And Blink Burst Strike, there we go. If they can kill General again, that would be big. Crystallize, forced to go in here, trying to go on FNG, but it's tanking enough disruption here, and all of a sudden Crystallize standing between a couple of heroes who still finish up the kill in the end. And number 4 is also to vacuum into Ravage though, turning things around. Epicenter front, not really doing too much with Dendy, but Crystallize, well, he will take out in the end to LTW. Shackles onto low ground. Illidan just gets up to the high ground here with the W. Brings down another one. 2 for 2 trade. Still very much in favor of Team Spirit though. They did bring down the big heavy puncher. LTW though, well, if he dies, it would be a good turnaround, but Illidan and DK Phobos taking over, screening for their friend. Now V then dies straight right now indeed. The gem will be recovered. Roger now has 1 for each eye. Forcing LTW all the way back. It's gotta be the name of the game now. Navi, they're pretty good at that. Pretty good at slowing down these kind of games. Skipping creep waves here, making sure that you buy enough time as much time as possible for your cores to respawn naturally. Because Sven, well, doesn't have buyback. Has enough money, but 2.5 minutes left on cooldown.
This sustains, gold remains.
The Team Spirit immediately get anything off of that particular team fight. They'll have a little bit of time left. Illidan working away at the Roshan himself. This is the big win condition for Team Spirit. Almost there. He'll cancel the region immediately. General connects. Him and Roger on the outside. General does not have the Ravage for 60 seconds. Can't even contest this. Almost have to try, don't they? FNG maintaining vision is going to be annoying with the Shadow Point spam across the pit. Navi, you see everything that's going on. Fiverr, well, I think we'll dodge it just barely. Okay, let's use up BKB to make sure that there's no way to interrupt it. Illidan will secure Aegis and Cheese while the rest of his team finish the Broadsword by themselves. Sure, why not? He does have buyback. As well, just leaving a buyback status at this point. And, well, vacuum, trying to see him inside the trees. And Echo, well, the creeps actually find him. Pops on the walls to try and get rid of as many of these as he can. But I don't think it really actually might matter. It wasn't for his new creep have to come in, so. Because there's still tier 2 there, but Vector region will not be a factor despite Snake's efforts. So now he's on the sidelines for 60 seconds. No buyback available for him. It's only Roger as well as Denny who have it.
Radiant's top tower is under
He's in
attack.
quite level 25 yet, so those +1 to 20 damage is not available. I'm not sure if it would even matter,
Radiant's
honestly.
top tower has fallen.
Illidan, if nothing else, he's pretty damn tanky. He also has an Aegis in his inventory. See, refresher shot actually. Darkseer, so double wall, double hex, double Shivas,
Radiant's
double guarding reef perhaps here for the heal at least. Crystallize coming in. They have to do something right now, but force stuff up on Illidan gets himself up to the high ground. Still very much alive. Even if they kill him, it's gonna come right back. Hex coming through, no BKB for Crystallize. And we're just running them over. One by one. Force stuffing around, kiting him, just staying alive themselves. Only losing FNG, Hurricane Pikes from LTW, couple extra light clicks, leap forward. Generally, he's still pretty damn tanky,
Radiant's
but they
top
don't really
tower
care about
is
him.
under attack.
The Ravage has not been enough this game. And this looks like Team Spirit will run away with game number 1 here, and they're gonna get Dandy for good measure. Trying to do what he can. Trying to keep his team alive, buying back. They're not giving up just yet.
Radiant's middle
Not a buyback, just sticking in here for Crystallize. So they have that, but don't have God Strength even. Can get another kill onto buyback. Rex is still standing actually, so as long as there's Rex, there's hope.
tower is under attack.
Especially with a Sven on the team, you can deal with super creeps, mega creeps technically as well. but you're never really going to push out with just a Sven deal with it, so this is why Viper is already starting to build instruments for himself. Now he hit level 25, let's have to make the talent decision. Silencer's game could be quite useful as well, honestly. BK4 was, despite having queued up, only never actually went for the BKB. LTW also doesn't want to build it himself, and well, DK has it. Was gonna precast the Phantasm anyway. Oh. It is what it is. Yeah, just Silencer Darkseer or something if he comes in. Anything in the vacuum wall could be a thing. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough, but I don't need that extra damage output. He went for it anyway. It's really good utility. It's more of an issue of making sure to actually have the time to right click, have the range to right click on even him, even on Dandy, but mostly on Crystallize. Navi, not out of it just yet. Holding on by a thread, but now the gold lead bigger than ever, 18k for Team Spirit, closing in on the 20k mark. No more buybacks. Generals will take back in. 20 seconds on the clock there. But they will be available by the time next team fight breaks out. Nichols maybe if he somehow finds enough money, but I doubt it.
Gold for me.
Spirit has most of theirs. Shadow Demon. 2 books, almost level 25 himself. And that could be interesting. I don't think you go for the demonic purge damage here, especially with the charges. That's 400 damage. Plus 500 makes 900 times 3? Yeah, that's a lot. Crystallize is dodge that with he's a spell immunity, but it's the damage does not, so I think you can still dodge the damage. But Crystallize is a very limited window with his BKB, and 5 seconds for a long time, so if you just wait that out, you just triple purge him and he's gonna be down to very low health indeed. If you need that, you can just straight up kill Shadow Shaman with 2 of those. Glimmer Cape might go off the map there a little bit as well. It is the death push. Team Spirit coming in. Illidan has the cheese in his inventory. Refresher shot has been used in this Death Fight, but they're gonna go straight in, General, with the instant Ravage. Crystallize with a follow-up. Alright, that's a good start. Taking down Viper. Now looking for more. Vacuum in, trying to control them. Team Spirit trying to walk away. A little bit of time here to kite out the rest of Navi. Will connect now. Maybe they can go back in. Maybe even find Roger. He's just used his flying ability. Can't quite go over the ridge line. They are respecting Navi now, despite the Ravage missing.
The prize is mine.
Despite the Godstring timing out. It was a death push, but turns out the only death was Viper. So they're gonna stop it in its tracks. Navi's still in the game. They're gonna take like a lot more of these kind of pickoffs and team fights to make it work for them. Maybe just 2. Maybe just 2 team fights. Like 1 to win, like decisively, get a couple of these 4 kills. 4 kills, so the arrow just lands on the Sven. Glimmer Cape looking safe for the time being. Team Spirit wants to commit here. Doesn't look like it. Would seem like a throw play if you just go in completely. Roger keeps the tabs on everybody now. Gonna initiate here with the banishment on Snako, but BKB and Olden, they see Roger in the back. They're trying to bring him down first, and they will Crystallize. Double stun though with the Shackles also, keeping LTW there. He's gonna be the first core to fall. Silence of the Darkseer cannot search himself out of there at all, even if it wasn't off cooldown. Slowed down the Shackles to creep. It's not gonna be helpful. Crystallize though, blinking in from another stun. Godstring still going. Be the secondary kill. Alright. That works. 2 very important heroes for Team Spirit on the sidelines. Now, you have to push across the river. You have to push all the way to the base, force out these buybacks, win another team fight. And then, maybe just then, you can get another set of racks, maybe even mega creeps. This is a tall order though, because you have 2 lanes pushing in constantly here with these super creeps. Crystallize, force the TP back and or even walk back and get rid of that. Push out the middle lane. You have to spend so much time, they can't commit to top. Still 3 heroes alive. The moment they split up, they're dead. Spirit, yeah, that kill instinct, but they realize that. Okay, that's a link into your pots. Everything coming through, it's BKB, Crystallize, matches that. There's a lot of illusions, so you can't fight it up against that. Maybe with General though, BKB ended on both these heroes, so shackled until then, but defense disruption. Alright, that'll work. FNG doing quite a bit in the backlines. They will get rid of Soneko in exchange. They will then Crystallize on the run. Dendi coming back in. Acceptable slow available from this Nether Strike. Link forward, Crystallize. They want more. They want this Chaos Knight. And they very well might get him. There it is. He also has buyback. While LTW able to hold on to his. Might very well have to use it because now NAVI is in a position where they have the lanes in a decent position. At least mid and top. Bottom lane is a bit of a different story. That will claim tier 4 tower. We'll claim the Rax here if it's not responded to. Not the Rax, the second tier 4, even the Ancient. Right, oh god. He's dead. That's a refresher, so. He can buy back. By the time Team Spirit get across, he will have double Ravage. The Kidney Crystallized here would be the big one. Double force off of FNG. Does not have any demonic purge charges left in BKB, TB, nothing I can cancel. That anyway.
Tower is under attack.
Right, so NAVI get back. Can quite find the opening. Also an objective here in the tier 4 tower. Also 95 health points. That'll not regenerate at all. Good. A little bit too resilient here with the advantage of having these 2 racks pushing in. Now, no Chaos Knight on one side, no Tide Hunter together. He can buy back, TP in for Blink double Ravage. It is a threat here, so Team Spirit have to be extremely careful about how they approach this. Actually being drastically 4-staffed in, 4-staffs back out. He is broken, so corrosive skin is not an issue right now, but lasts for a while. They do bring him to safety, but they have to take care of these creeps. Look at the catapults.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That is, that's a buyback. That should mean, yeah, Team Spirit backing off immediately. Whittling away, slowly but surely. They do not want to throw this game. NAVI is a team that don't want to take your chances with like that. Going in 0-1 in the best of 3 series. Especially with this much at stake. Galaxy Battles. The first major of the new year, 2018, in Philippines Arena, Manila. Want to be able to punch your ticket and at the very least make it to the finals with these qualifiers to have a chance at the wild card. Like if you look at the items, you look at Roger, like 1-11-11, it's not exactly the kind of scoreline that you expect out of a successful Night Stalker. But he's had his uses, even just with the Agnum Scepter and a gem. This vision has been so freaking crucial. And Soneko, well, he's had Glimmer Cave and Ether Lens for this entire game, it feels like. It is daytime, so don't have that extra night vision. Wrapping around here with the Moonlight Shadow, and the Night Find General here. Second double Ravage is available here if he wants to, but Mino in front, back to one absolute everyone else. That's a Ravage 1. Ravage 2 even at the same time, but it felt like nothing. They lost General, they lost Crystallize. Gonna come right back, but no, he's God Strength here before that. We'll find FNG somewhere down here. Dendi finishing him off, but at what cost? Doesn't still very much alive. Dendi not so much. Also buyback again. Crystallize, he doesn't have his big punching power. Without the God Strength, you're severely lacking in damage. That's a Viper illusion from the wall, still chipping away at the melee racks. Team Spirit is still very timid. They don't want to overcommit here to these racks. Just wanted to force these buybacks. That's what they got. Only lost FNG. Full advantage now, 22k, and guess what? That's not Roshan up. Aegis, Cheese, and another refresher shot. So double vacuum wall, maybe even double phantasm. Wouldn't hate that either.
Dire are scanning.
Spam illusions, very strong illusions like that. Spam them down and right click away at the range tracks. Even with the Sven having the AoE stun and the big cleave, might not actually be worthwhile. Anyway, this is something that Navi cannot contest without the Ravages. Right. Once he respawns, he'll have the first one back. The second one will follow another half minute. Can they hold out that long is the question. But this extra advantage in hand, you can just afford to go a little bit YOLO. Just commit. Try and burst down the Sven here with no regard for losses. He's down. Or Dandy's down even, I'm not even sure if this lies is a bigger kill here. They die one more time, then that'll be it. It has to be it eventually, right? So far Navi proven to be extremely resilient, but this game, I think it requires a miracle at this point, or perhaps Team Spirit just going AFK for a couple of minutes. You can't quite just select a hero, press A and click on the bottom left hand corner of the map. Not quite there just yet. But NAVI. Oh, monumental task. Well, they're taking the initiative. Blink Ravage, double Ravage coming through. FNG dies immediately. Illidan pops the BKB. Has the Cheese in his backpack right now, so he has to force the TP out. ILTW dropping super low himself. He does have the Aegis. Trying to trade here, trying to bring down Dendy. He's left alone, and well, 4 or 5 heroes around him. He should be able to control up immediately. The Piper come back in. There it is. They still get ILTW. They still have their power with the BKB. Crystalline is holding on to it until the perfect moment. Now all of a sudden Team Spirit losing more and more heroes. DK4 was him and Piper trying to get back in, trying to make use of that Aegis on the Mirana. Getting this one crucial kill on Dendy at the very least. But this is why they're still sticking around in this game. This is why they have this new wind under the sails here. Just getting more momentum in the season as this Navi lineup. This determination to not give up. This is what you need.
At last.
Especially in this kind of a game. Just trust in your ability to take the late game team fights, to take the late games in general, to play it out the way you have to. There's always a way to win. Especially in late game though, especially if Illidan just sticking around a little bit too far forward. It's nullified here, Roger, able to get this extra item. Just a little bit too far away to actually follow up, but
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
statement of intent. As long as it's just a CK, Navi will be just fine pushing down this lane, forcing on a few buybacks. There's one. 30 seconds on the other two.
Radiant's ancient is under attack.
Probably just be happy giving up that that building. Poison attack effects building is also a talent that he did go for rather than the Viper Strike DPS. That was the first time he actually made use of it.
Is under attack.
Sustains.
Each creeps though.
Good remains.
In the bane of their existence. But yeah, that's late game DOTA for you. Was a 22k lead for Team Spirit at one point, now back to 13k. Like almost a 10k swing here on the back of that team fight, and no reason why Navi would not be able to find a similar kind of team fights. I mean, that was a fight where Team Spirit had Aegis, Cheese and Refresher Shot. And they just lost it that decisively. At some point it doesn't matter how the game went, it just matters that where you are right now, which is, well, we have all the tools. We have double Ravage again available for general.
Are scanning.
Well, everyone has the core items, everyone has the tools that they need, and then it's just a matter of using it properly. Making sure that you actually get kills with them. Or just commit for the throne, but that's the thing. But, well, bigger question, maybe they've been a little bit too timid earlier. Maybe there was a timing window that they missed. But it's very hard to make that judgment call, even for me, because I'm a scrub. But especially if you're in the game as well, you don't have all the information that I have. I have a hard time calling it, as well as they do as well. Better demon will die. A bit of an issue. FNG 100 seconds on the sidelines. No buyback for him. Missing the gold. And Biggie BTB, just make sure. Into the other lane. Oh no, it was RTW pushing this. That doesn't force a reaction, so Navi can't get anything else off of that. Unless they somehow battle down on LTW, but yeah, he's backing off towards the rest of his team. Next Roshan, what's the start on that? 2.40 seconds. Oh wait, that doesn't make sense. 2 minutes 40 seconds. Alright, there you go. Only get a couple of hours sleep after casting for 8 days in a row. And this game is heading in to just towards the 65-minute mark. And I don't have a co-caster, so I do excuse these small little lapses from me, please. Before he goes on the Sand wonder what he wants to go for. He already has that Agnum Scepter. Any other items that we missed, actually? I guess Halberd and DK4 was like, he's completely stacked. LTW with the MKB, so all these butterflies might actually eventually be phased out. Okay, that is Ravage comes through. General showing up, double Ravage available to bring down one. Buyback immediately, and now a bit of a turnaround. Vacuum into the wall. Pretty good start now. Phantasm. 4 seconds on to Tide Hunter. It's not exactly the most important target. You only use Ravage and stand there. His TP will be cancelled though. Him and Crystallize still sticking around to space, ripe for the taking. They'll bring down Sven. They'll bring down Dandy. Triple kill for DK Forward. That's the wall illusions for you. Also, extra initial damage. Pretty damn solid. Cost them a buyback to Illidan, but Bendy and Crystallize, both of them down. Both of them will have buyback ticking in. That's the only reason that Navi go for this kind of play into the dire side base. Didn't quite expect it. They went for it anyway. The buybacks used already. Dandies will be available in a couple of seconds in case they're needed. But Team Spirit, well, I don't know if they just say, well, enough is enough. Let's just freaking go. But then you buy him back. Just putting it on cooldown, I guess at this point is better than just holding on to it for as long as you can. Only General has it. Single Ravage available in 35 seconds. Secondary Ravage another 30 seconds after that. And then make this work now. Team Spirit coming through. General still coming on him here, so he's tanking that. Pressure to release Crystallize. Double stun. Starting in here onto LTW. 1 leap, 2 leaps up the high ground. Nullify to Chaos Knights. He's actually in a little bit of trouble. That's so fast, but yeah, the cheese eaten. We'll make sure that he survives. Denny, not so much. That's a dieback for him. And now the Storm of Crystallize. If he falls here too, then it's all over finally here for Team Spirit. And lost LTW. Bites back immediately. Ready to boot off travel right in the middle of that. Also Ilden though, who just dies before that General. Had the refresher tick in, so LTW has to make the long walk. Somehow Navi holding on. That's the wrong target to TP to, like, let's be real here. That was a misplay, but regardless, 100 seconds on the sidelines for 3 of Navi's heroes. They were never gonna win that as soon as ILTW got back across. So the GG is called regardless. Team Spirit win game number 1. Here in this best of 3 series in Galaxy Battles EU qualifiers. Damn, that took a while. Navi, for a while it looked there like they could pull it, turn it around, but it is very tricky. So volatile. You make one slight misstep or just get caught out by one spell, and they start to turn south again. Team Spirit. Well, good resilience here. Not being shaken too much, not overcommitting, not going in without buyback. And eventually they were able to pull it out. Yeah, Navi, it kind of comes down to Roger not really having as much of an impact early on as he maybe wanted to. And generally he had some really good Ravages in the later parts of the game here as soon as he got the refresher up as well. These double Ravages, they were the reason that Navi stuck around in this game for so long. But couple of the situations that they got into that they got themselves into earlier in the game just meant that Team Spirit could just pick off one by one. Some of the Ravagers were like without follow-up, and other times where Ravage would be really good, it was on cooldown, so it's also down to Team Spirit just being able to exploit that very well. Anyway, game number 2 coming up next. Gonna take a short break, but I'll be back with that, of course. Stay tuned.
that's where I'll go straight into the vast unknown. We get lost, found each other, we don't have to find a way back. When we get lost, found each other, we can go anywhere, yeah. That's where I'll go straight into the vast unknown. Can we get lost? Found each other, we don't have to find a way back. Can we get lost? Found each other, we don't have to find a way back, a way back. I want to get so lost with you, yeah, back, a way back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 1 here between Team Spirit and NAVI in the Galaxy Battles EU Qualifiers. It might as well be game 1. It is actually game 2, but the drafts so far are a carbon copy. Same bands, search through extremely quickly, and then the same first pick for Team Spirit. The only difference is they're on the Radiant side now, and NAVI snatch themselves the Dire. They still get the Shadow Shaman for Suneko, and still get the Night Stalker. Gonna see the same game again. I'm gonna be very upset, especially if it lasts another 65 minutes. Like, well, here we are. My name is Dragondrop, and this is the semifinals. If you lose here, you're out for good. If you do make it to the finals, even if you lose that, in the CS region, you do have the chance at a wild card. But if you really want to secure your tickets to play in the Galaxy Battles, then you have to win that too, obviously. Of course, it's the first Mage of 2018. Definitely want to be a part of that if you can. And yeah, same bands, even beyond that Medusa band goes well.
Radiant team ban.
Well, I will also say, like, I don't even have to analyze this. We've seen the same thing just a couple of minutes ago. Like, what else am I supposed to say here? Storm Spirit taken out this time. Well, just like, oh, not like last time. Medusa was actually banned by Team Spirit. So that's the only difference that we have right now. That and the Storm Spirit being then taken out by NAVI. Because they banned Slaughter and Tinker in the second phase. Alright. What do we do now? Ben and Medusa. Team Spirit, they now have to think about another ban because, well, one of theirs. Okay, they just banned Tinker, sure. Why not? It's an annoying hero, so I wouldn't want to play against him either. There's some solutions already, right? You have the Sanking with the Blink, but it's... he can just take a game over completely.
10 seconds.
Alright, NAVI. Do they go back for the Viper? Do they have something else in mind? I mean, in terms of offlaners and combinations, there's still the Magnus available. That could be something, right? You can pick up perhaps even a Phantom Assassin, something that they are no strangers to, certainly. Not for the mid lane, obviously. So the Dandy Hero could still be the classic Shadow Fiend if they want. Played that a couple of times. Queen of Pain, also not been banned or picked in the last game. There's still quite a few left of those. Even the Puck, right? Probably the better one because there's a much easier time mid, generally speaking, or less unfavorable matchups than the Queen of Pain even. They're taking up some time to think about it now. Also, pay no attention to this pip. Team Spirit actually won game number 1. So the admin's messed up. When that happened the other day, made a remake after the draft. Because of that, which I still think is silly, but I know how big you guys' attention spans are. Of course, there's new people coming in. It can be a bit confusing. Just know, that was not my doing, even though I've messed up plenty today already. This was not me. The admin here not adjusting that properly after the team switch sides. So it is Team Spirit who won game number 1. And Navi, well, what's a
Radiant
hero?
team
We're gonna
pick.
find out now. It is the puck. Alright, so let's settle for this one. Very strong mid laner. Can be very active, can get you a lot of kills in the mid game. And maybe even start to snowball. Pretty good against tanking, like you have plenty of ways to snap him out of the sandstorm, even without detection. Save a
10
bit on that.
seconds remaining.
Really care too much about the
5
Shadow Demon.
seconds
Very
remaining.
elusive, right? That's what it comes down to. Once you get the Yules, the Blink, you're very hard to lock down with what you have right now on Team Spirit. So if they want better solutions, easier solutions almost, then you could go back for something like a Doom. Run him in the offlane. Or even run Sanking offlane, have the
Dire
Doom
team
roam.
pick.
It works just as well, but okay, it's just sticking to the guns. Chaos Knight. Medusa banned out either way, so that's the one big counter to its hero. Navi though, with Puck, at least you have some AoE control and a little bit of AoE burst. So that's nice. We want to
10
go back
seconds
for
remaining.
the Sven. What other heroes are there against CK?
5 seconds remaining.
Terrorblade actually. It was because you have a lot of base armor to work with. Of damage yourself, but then again, there's the problem of the Shadow Demon who can make illusions of yourself. I don't know. Have to be the Sven. Or just go all out magic damage.
Radiant
Let's go
team
Pac-Man,
pick.
just push them down, but it is Sven.
Stands
Alright.
ready.
There's nothing really wrong with that pick. It's just the fact that Navi couldn't always take all the team fights. Team Spirit got plenty of momentum. Might very well be a different game though, depending on where they want to run their lanes.
10 seconds remaining.
Like Chaos Knight took a lot of time to get off the
5
ground because it didn't
seconds
really farm.
remaining.
Got a couple of kills here, but most of the time between that was spent like running around looking for more kills rather than farming up a creep wave for a couple of minutes. So we got a very late armlet and never really really recover. Didn't matter in the end because, well, game turned into late game. And at that point everyone had enough time to get what they need. But this might very well be different here if they can just run him in the safe lane for a while, maybe even get a Midas. Or just get an earlier timed armlet. And all of a sudden Chaos Knight gets as scary as it was in later parts of the game much earlier. But what you want to
Dire
do
team
now? Piranha,
Yeah.
okay. Again, carbon copy draft. That was exactly the same pick order. I do believe. Yeah. So
10 seconds remaining.
actually, yeah, I believe so.
5 seconds remaining.
If they pick up the Darkseer again, which wouldn't be the worst either. I mean, once again, good matchup against Sven. You have to combo with the Sand King.
Radiant team back.
Like it's a bad hero, and with the Omni Knight banned out, what other alternatives do you have? I guess Tidehunter is in the pool for them now. Alternatively, the Magnus themselves, that could be interesting. It kind of is a vacuum too, on top of the stun with the RP, like, except on a much longer cooldown.
10 seconds remaining.
But you also have the Empower to help the Chaos Knight farm and do a lot of the extra damage.
5 seconds remaining.
Not necessarily the most classic combo, because Chaos Knight relies on his illusions to do that extra damage, so comparatively the Empower doesn't weigh in as much, but still helps you clear through camps and whatnot with the cleaves. Could still be something that they could look for. It also gives you more lockdown up against the
Radiant
puck.
team
Not exactly reliable if he's quick enough on his fingers on Dendy.
Dire
You
team
can maybe dodge
pick.
ERPs and whatnot. But it's the Underlord. Alright, that's another one of these heroes that was still available. Pretty annoying to deal with in lane for the most part, unless you kill him a couple of times early. With the Shadow Shaman, maybe do that actually. If you had a Juggernaut
10
here,
seconds
and then a
remaining.
Magnus for the offlane, I'd like that much more than the Sven, because then you still have the cleave, you
5
also have this
seconds
a lot
remaining.
more early game kill potential. Then, sure, you can throw out the stun, it lasts for 2 seconds, it's fine. But you don't have a lot of damage to throw out. Very low base attack speed as well, so, like, Shadow Shaman, yeah, he can keep Underlord there with the Shackles for a long time. But unless he's very far forward and you have plenty of time to run him down,
Choose your
then
hero.
well, you won't be able to really kill him all that easily. And it's actually going to be then the Queen of Pain after all. Puck picked up by General instead. Alright, that also works. Good matchup against Mirana mid. And with these two heroes together, they have a lot of mid-game power. So they're looking for a bit of a different timing. Trying to bring down Illidan before he even has a chance to get really big. What's these other heroes like? Just win the lanes. Get more mileage out of Roger. I think that's what this kind of strat is gonna be hinging on. And this time around he has some better lanes to gank, right? Ganking a lane with the Viper on your team is also kind of limited in damage output, at least burst damage output. But you're thinking about heroes like Queen of Pain, like a Puck. If Nightstack comes into that, throws out a slow, throws down a silence, both of these heroes will be able to follow up with a lot of burst damage. And we are going to have a remake. Alright. I'm gonna throw it back to pause. I'll be right back with the game as it's remade. Alright guys, we're back. All pick mode has been chosen here for this remake because Team Spirits, well, we needed that pip in the right place, obviously. Still gonna be the same draft, obviously. And then the Quap, General on the Puck in the offlane. We're ready to go here as soon as everything ticks in. If there are any sort of bonus hero mangoes, then they will be eaten immediately. Again, I don't think that was necessary, but well, doesn't really matter now. It's for the best. No one's being confused because it was Team Spirits who won game number 1. It took them a while, but they did end up winning it. Game number 2 now here between them and NAVI here in the Galaxy Battles EU qualifiers. My name is Dragndrop. Happy to bring you these games, and well, NAVI 1 game away from elimination actually. If you lose this one, then you're out entirely. If you win this game, and even if you then lose the finals, you still have the chance at a wild card. But well, gotta get there first. Team Spirit in a really good position to try and close this out now. Have a pretty decent draft. That Underlord here could prove to be a valuable asset with his particular skill set. But NAVI, mostly the same draft here, apart from the puck as well as the Queen of Pain too. So, and that means that they have some more tools available in this mid-game here. They have ways to make sure that Roger actually has an impact, because the lanes that he's ganking actually have a kill potential. Even looking towards mid, Mirana, who's gonna have the triple leap. That might not be enough here in some circumstances, even if, especially if you manage to force it out. But this is a really good play here, and Crystallize all the way outside of his base. Long range arrow after disruption into the burst strike. First blood being drawn by FNG. Team Spirit, they are not messing around. And this is what I was waiting for, time and time again. With every game that I cast, just teams getting really creative with these kind of movements, because like the normal ones, they never really lead to a kill. Like Dire side, Radiant side just walking up here, just securing this area, and they'll be fine. And the Dire side doing the same thing on the other side of the map. But recently I've seen movements like this here, going in towards the middle lane. And this one here just going all the way up here, wait and catch somebody there. Pretty damn good. Now burst strike in mid onto Dandy. Arrow will be tanked up by Night Stalker. Dandy will be fine. Does have the Shadow Strike first, no Blink Dagger available to keep him safe in this instance. Very crucial that Roger's sticking around here. Bottom lane, we do have a dual lane. Once again, Crystallize opting try and dodge this very pesky lane, or try to. Is the operative word here, because DK Phobos is down here still up against him. Does mean right now Illidan is all alone up top because support's still mid. Burst strike on 2. Continue to right click away. Trying to give ILTW this edge here against this Queen of Pain. Last game had a lot of trouble against the Dandy's Viper. Queen of Pain is probably a little bit easier, but still annoying with the Shadow Strike spam. Overall, these lanes seem pretty decent for NAVI, because you've got General in the safe lane. Should be fine up in the matchup against Illidan. FNG making his way in there now to be a bit more annoying. But should be able to secure at least his levels and a couple of CS here and there. Crystallize might turn out a bit differently here as soon as DK Phobos gets a couple of extra levels, because you really, right now he can't stand this Firestorm, that's absolutely fine. Also still has all this region. Once you run through there, once a couple of extra levels come out, then things look a little bit different. But by that time, NAVI might just decide to send Crystallize to the safe lane, make these rotations. Oh, top lane. Back here on the puck, and okay, he's just dead. Or he used the orb perhaps aggressively. So FNG setting up with that same kind of build. Disruption Soul Catcher. That's what we always see these days. Yeah, we often see Shadow Demons go back for the Shadow Poison build, but that's when they plan to stay in lane and spam out on offlane, and not when they're roaming around looking for kills. Same time mid RTW, and to rely on a couple of his sleep charges here to stay alive. So he's once again the sacrificial lamp a little bit here for Team Spirit, despite Viper still spending a lot of time in this lane. Gotta be really careful here though. I mean, so far, by that LTW, he's even ahead in terms of CS. 1 or 2 of those were probably, at least 1, were neutral creeps. Not like this pressure is not having any effects. Well, that will change once Night Stalker hits level 3 and it is nighttime. should line up decently well if he sticks around mid and soaks a little bit more from Dendy, which again is not the most ideal of circumstances. Top lane though, we're gonna go again general, drag him back, but this time the orb will be successful in getting him to safety. He'll stick around, get a couple extra right clicks up onto FNG. That's another one of these things, right? If you mention like you can only really stun him as a CK if you force out a phase shift somehow. And general being range here up against the melee, like you don't really have a reason to phase shift anything but that projectile stun. But if you lead with the reality rift, you can get close enough that it can be hard to time. Yeah. General is a very accomplished puck player too. He knows his stuff. He should not really be dying much more. As long as he holds on to his orb and doesn't use it to farm aggressively or harass. That's really what it comes down to in most puck matchups if he's solo. Yeah. Emo Crystallize, he's getting all the lasts in the world. DK Phobos, he's getting his level so minimum mid. Again, the arrow will fall, will find Roger after disruption. The combination, it's very old school indeed. You see a lot of Bane Mirana these days, but Shadow Demon Mirana is just as potent, if not more potent. You have to time it up a little bit better, because the Nightmare obviously, it waits for the arrow disruption, you have to properly time it, but you do have the Soul Catcher for the extra damage. FG and Bible, they're up here. It is nighttime, they're staying out of vision. Puck. Showing himself. They also had this observe what he's got a lot of rotation in first place, so General's not exposing himself at all. Roger, made rotation, or maybe he can... That's for safety, I guess, because... Can't really kill Illidan, can they? They're gonna try. Time's coming through, and a couple more right clicks. TP in through from Bible will be forced out. At the same time, those Shadow Shaman will die to the Disruption Arrow combo. Spirit just... starting this game just like game number 1, just with the finger on the gas, or with the foot on the gas. That's the expression I was looking for. Finger on the trigger time and time again here on this disruption combo. FNG eats its way through the trees once again. Orb is available. Spaceship, Burst Strike though, it's not gonna be enough time with the extra 2 second stun. Another kill. That's still a combo. Roger coming in, but what can he really do? Once again, he finds himself in a situation where he has a hard time having an impact. Because Team Spirit are the ones just dictating the pace of the game. Time and time again. That's the Shackle of Soneko coming through with Invis. General making rotation. Oh yeah. Navi putting themselves on the board. Soneko actually snagging that with the Ether Shock before Mirana can lead away.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And if that doesn't use up top, he gets the extra illusion. So everything working right between Spirit. Already working away this tower. They do have the catapult. Someone's gonna have to tank up the creep with the tower. No. Oh, they did it. They did it. I don't know how he did it though. Maybe he right-clicked the hero elsewhere across the map, so tower gets aggro. Elsewhere across the map, actually. DK Phobos can be gone on, but he's pretty damn tanky at this point. 3 points into the Atrophy Aura. Not actually doing a whole lot of damage even with God Strength.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Is he fine? Yeah, Burst Strike across. So once again, first nighttime. Nightstalk is still 0, 1, and 0. This is not what you want. Not at all. I was thinking about here this burst damage potential. But, Andy, not quite level 6. Got a lot of issues here with these kind of things. Luckily for him now, Creep was able to tank up the arrow for him. The hero Creep right there. But yeah. Puck being killed a couple of times. Not exactly what you're looking for either. It's just very good rotation from Team Spirit to make all of that happen. The strength of having these strong solo lanes too. ILTW is very survivable in the stealth. You have Underlord in the safe lane. He'll not die either, certainly not now. Unless there's like a big commitment from Navi, and even in top lane, right? They didn't have too many resources to throw out against a very tanky Heroes lane. Especially not knowing where exactly the supports are at. Snako. What do you really do as a Shadow Shaman in this situation? Backup camps, I guess that works. Roger, sitting around to soak a little bit of that experience. Because ideally you want him to get him to level 6 ASAP, so you have that nighttime on demand. But the Ancient Stack's not going to be enough for that. Team Spirit just continuing to pressure these lanes. FNG, his own levels up top. Doing a pull. Gonna slow down a little bit now, make sure that you get your epicenter, you get your demonic purge. Viper's doing in our jungle, FNG confident enough to do it in lane. Navi, well, they can't really punish it because they still have to play catch up themselves. In the pain though, at this point at least, Danny, level 7. Sonic Wave available, 3 points up in the Scream of Pain. So, that's your burst potential. Need to try and find a way in, that's the other thing. Once you leave the lane, it should be immediately spotted out by Team Spirit. And called out as well. FNG, well, level 6 in Park is also in trouble, can't just TP up willy-nilly. Yeah, call's still available. Let's try and walk his way out, but being body blocked by his own illusion is not ideal. But as soon as the call comes, he can just go for the TP. And yeah, General realizes his mistake. No tier 1 tower means no quick support to help him get that kill.
I'll take your tribute.
Right now, Team Spirit just don't want to say outplaying, but they're really making good use of the draft to win these lanes and get to their heroes to where they need to be. Flip side is, again, Danny, he's farmed quite well. So is Crystallized on the stem. He's getting these ancient stacks uncontested, so he's sitting at 5k gold, 5.5k or something after he finishes up the couple of big creeps here. And you definitely have a 6 on the Night Stalker. Shadow Shaman also pretty close, that's another needle timing that you can do to secure yourself also some extra farm with the Serpent Wards on the tower. But now, Burst Strike, keep Ivan safe against Roger. They put a Moonlight Shadow here, they're rotating in some more heroes. Not gonna be able to intercept the Queen of Pain by the looks of it, but maybe Roger, if they had division, once again, nighttime is so annoying with it all. But you see nothing, literally nothing. Alright, oh, Burst Strike will actually connect. Shadow Shaman dragging him back. Snako throws down one spell but gets bursted by that 3 points up in the Chaos Ball. So even though Roger came to TP, nothing he can do to help his teammate here. That's also one thing of the Night Stalker. If we are not aggressive, we were forced to be defensive like that. Just gonna die, maybe? Stick Charters will be enough, and another TP, this time from Crystallize. That's a lot more dangerous here, especially with Snako also coming back into it. Viper! Well, okay. Barely being right-clicked down on time before his own TP completes. NAVI with a big commitment here. They keep Roger safe, which is fine, I guess, but they're also gonna get that extra kill and the momentum in this wave. They're gonna need to take the tower though. They have the Serpent Ward to make that happen with. Team Spirit don't want to let it go. And DK forward as well, one Firestorm and missing your entire creep wave. Still committing though, Snako. Walking away, not a lot of extra mana to work with, so I don't actually agree with his decision to drop down the wards if you're not going to commit for the push. They were never really going to be able to. So, a little bit of damage onto the tower, traded for all of this gold though, and managed to farm out all of these wards. Might as well been a hero kill. Double leap here to get away from the follow-up into the Stormhammer. Banishment into the arrow, but TW a little bit too late on the trigger there. Roger able to walk away. And if you look at the net worth, it's not actually that much of a differential, but it's still slowly but surely going up and up for Team Spirit with the way these games going so far. The only reason NAVI isn't further behind right now is Crystallized. Farming so very well in middle lane. Okay. This time that'll connect onto Dandy, and it's an important hero. Again, it feels like NAVI can't afford to lose either Crystallized or Dandy in this game. Unless General can pick up the slack, right? Puck, very similar here to the Queen of Pain, just in the way that function. And he already has the Blink Dagger, so Blink Coil, Silence at 3 points. It's a pretty good initiation. But you also need follow-up. Crystallize is in the general area, no Blink Dagger for him. Because, yeah, he does have the active saber completed though. Has a blink queued up next. So if you then have General blinking in, controlling people up for General to follow up, then that's the combo that you're looking for right now if you're Navi. Again, they're not quite there yet. Roger. You 1-0, it's just second night time. 2 minutes.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I wish it was less bugged with the indicator. Wish nighttime wasn't as bugged anyway, because the later the game goes, the further off it will be off the 0-second mark. Be like 4 seconds after a minute, full minute. It's just silly. It's never really been a priority. Oh god, Dandy just blinking into this one. Only level 2s, not the shortest cooldown. They're gonna be able to right click him down. That is so unfortunate, if nothing else. And you cannot afford that if you're an RV. All this momentum is just going to continue going in favor of Team Spirit. They don't quite have the Phantasm. But in this game, even Illidan, he's the top net worth. He's not even falling behind because he did go for that Midas. He did spend some time farming. He doesn't want to be in austerity mode like he was last game for the longest time. So, he's keeping up. Another 2 cores are also not too bad either. 5.5k in both DK forwards as well as ILTW. Face boots, Aquila on 1. Move for the Manta style. The mechanism already up and running for Underlord. Going straight for the pipe next. So all of this magic damage that Navi has, and they have to rely on here between Puck and Dendi. General and Dendi. The only thing they have right now, this magical burst. They haven't really been able to get it on a target. So this is all highly theoretical, but it is possible for them to get kills with that, if they're going for it. But right now, Dendi seems to be very very happy just farming away. Though he does have the Veil. We'll start to group up a little bit more, but not with their entire hero lineup. Like Illidan is still down bottom, he's continuing to farm using the Midas. Same time, you also have Biver farming his own Blink Dagger, so they're not even being too inefficient right now. Just because they're so far ahead, they can feel confident in saying, yeah, DK Wolves, you have a mech, you're fine. You can be in the front line. Don't have FNG there with the disruption at the ready. ILTW still has all of his 3 leap charges right now, so it's decently hard for Navi to go in. So they can just get these tier 1 towers for free while still farming elsewhere on the map.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, that's a good kill. Fiverr. 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger. Now a little bit further. Meanwhile, Spike goes down, Baron Roger will be annihilated. Combo, or the coil at the very least, already used for a Puck. One from trade across the map. And looking for more drag back, but coil across, arrow fly, will be dodged. And tower might still go down. There are new creepers coming in. Illidan, you don't quite want to tank it all that much. It was much lower. Yeah, you commit for it, you get the last hit. And hope to God that you get out. What the hell? Alright. Arrow is just a leap into Starfall and into a kill. You can get the tower deny plus the walls farmed up. Again, it's essentially is like 200, 300 gold something. 9 times 25 is the average. Oh god, that is down bottom though. Sonic away for a minute. Not really doing enough damage just yet. General has to commit a little bit further in, try and get FNG. He will secure the kill. And what costs? He lost Crystallize, and now General is potentially in trouble. DK Phobos doesn't have another bit of malice. Orb across the other side. They split the heroes up. Illidan again. As long as you have the phase shift, you cannot really lock him down easily. It's gonna have to use his Midas. There's no creeps here in this lane, in this camp. Might have to go to lane or just wait for the creeps to respawn. Not too inefficient. Also on the map, Roger. He's Marana and ILTW. You can commit. Deep forward into the arrow. Or Biber coming through, showing up his Blink Dagger. He still manages to secure. Makes for a much easier kill while still maintaining that leap economy. It's max level now, so replenish time is not the worst. 30 seconds compared to 60 at level 1. But this is not looking good for Navi, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe this time. Chaos Knight gonna get going on. Nice little bit of Malice, so try and interrupt this. The call coming through as well. And DK Phobos Says, hey, taxi service, there's 4 people here. It's better haul ass out of there. Nothing simpler than that. But then 2k health points already, and that's not even with the armament activated. So it's quite a lot to chew through for Navi. Even with that magical burst, it didn't quite even have the Sonic Wave back at that point. Meanwhile, this continues to happen. Disruption into stun. Oh no, stun up himself, pops a Phantasm now and just dies. Crystallize is not nearly as strong as he wants to be at this point in the game. Blink Burst Strike also catches Roger. BO3 soon to be 0-4-0 here on this Night Stalker, unless General has something to say about it, but comes in, trying to go for a little bit of an interruption, but the full 5-man lineup for Team Spirit is in this middle lane now. Reason for them to stop would be to defend other towers, but Seneko, another set of Serpent Walls has to be committed. Kill the tier 1. Or Team Spirit, they'll find the tier 2. And with 2 heroes still on the sidelines, they can put on some pressure on the tier 3 as well. Even that Sven illusion still from the another 15 seconds from that Soul Catcher. They're forced out. And they don't have the get out of jail free card from Dark Rift, but they still have the mechanism. Illidan still feel very strong indeed. But with Crystallize coming back, that's a little bit too much to chance here. Also considering that they should know that Denny has a Sonic Wave back. It is level 2. If he lands it, that's a lot of damage to work with. Almost 400 now with the spell amp.
Invisibility.
There's no reason for Team Spirit to take this kind of risk right now because they're way ahead in this game already. Go ahead, get further ahead and don't throw it away. Andy, okay, Burst Strike, all up his there from the stun, Pit of Malice, he just didn't die, he thought he was safe. He thought Team Spirit would split up and farm, but they didn't. They stuck around as a 5-man unit. They seem to be making all the right moves, because now, that hero down, they have an opportunity to go into Roshan, get that Aegis, and probably push down the bottom lane, because that's being pressured by Seneko. Or if you feel really bold now, could decide to go down mid, but within respawning so soon. I don't think that's going to be the play for Team Spirit. As I say that though, they're not TPing down there at all. Seneko's there sitting in the trees waiting for some go. Does have another set of wards. General just standing out of vision, not revealing himself. They were hoping for somebody to TP back. But Team Spirit doesn't care. Just say, okay, sure, you commit the wards. That's nice. One less thing to worry about, I guess. We have an Aegis, we have Disruption Illusions, we're gonna have another Phantasm. So, can use the walls for high ground, but they will lose Crystallize. And just wait down here to try and trade with the God Strength. Roger is skipping Creeper. He's got the Courier, so it's no shadows actually on it. If we can though, that's a 22-minute drag. Herald will connect on it, then need it back. Nice little silence in the stun. General keeping his friend safe. Now the epicenter was cancelled. The blink wasn't cancelled, but might have been. I don't know. Epicenter wasted, but they got what they came from. They're not losing anything. The only thing that they lost out on was an extra kill on Dendy. Just due to General throwing his life on the line there almost. Just the blink silence and then preventing the follow-up stun from and Reality Rift from Chaos Knight. But yeah, bottom tower barely took damage. So all they really lost in terms of objectives was the tier 2. And it doesn't take a genius to say that that was well worth it. NAVI now have much less farm to go around, as this middle lane will yield half of the gold. I won't say anything against Roger because he's a very talented player, but in this draft, in these games against Team Spirit, it was not the right hero for him here. It really feels like it. Either that or just something was missing here. Because 23 minutes in, a Night Stalker 0-4-0. If nothing else, it's an indication that you're not doing well whatsoever. And the 7k net worth. Almost eclipsed by 4 positions tanking here. There's a 4-star in his stash right now. So max mobility for him. The only saving grace is Crystallize. He is still pretty damn strong. almost has the BKB completed too. Link Dagger, Echo Saber together with God Strength can do damage if you get on top of somebody. That is a big if at this point, especially without the BKB. With it, it gets a little bit easier because then, one more time, the only thing that you have to worry about is that Demonic Purge. It's still pretty useful in that particular scenario. A couple of TPs in the middle lane. They do not want to let this go just yet. They get the burst strike off on the Crystallize. Follow up here. They if there's no Glimmer Cape, will expire now. They will run him down with the arrow. Tower will go down, Serpent wants to chop away. At the same time, General ends up falling solo to Illidan. Must have been a bit of a lapse there because must have got the stun and killed immediately. Phantasm was used, so we had his illusions. It was one of these things where you don't even get a chance to react.
Worthy tribute.
NAVI. Back to the fountain for Demi as well. Boots comes up, follow Firestorm, Burst Strike. Yeah. Reels down just like that. Falling apart at the seams. Last game, they stuck around. They will stick around in this game as well with even more ferocity because it's the tournament lives on the line. LTW, well, Snake finds him. Not have the wards, so we'll have to keep him on place for Roger. Do what? Silence. That'll be matted off. LTW is absolutely fine here. And the rest of the Team Spirit is down bottom. Give forwards, extra illusions here for disruption. But the tier 2 going down. Diffuse Blade on Mirana, so the classic build up, extra DPS, extra slows.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
This slice. He will have the BKB now. It's coming out. Go for more damage here on the Daedalus. So it's like the all-in kind of play that you have to do.
Bottom shrine is under attack.
Whatever chance you get, you need to do max damage. So the crit, big old crit stick, will allow you to do that for the most part.
Dire's bottom tower.
I mean, he does have the attack speed of supported and to almost guarantee a crit. Yeah, with the Echo Saber and the Master Madness. So that's still going to be an issue, but oh, is it really? Look at Illidan, he has a freaking heart. With heart and armor, sitting at 4.5k health points. Arrow flies through, and oh, actually catches Roger. Illidan, he wants that kill. But gets silenced up again. They're just going for that. Nemo in the backline, so Crystallize comes in, leap away from LTW. You'll be fine. In with some Survivor, so Neko commits the walls together with the Shackles to make that happen. Crystallize look for another target. Trying to fight up against Illidan to get some defensive disruption. BKB is now timed out. Oh my god, this is not fun to watch here. Illidan just turns on the Phantasm, starts right-clicking, double kill for the big CK player. It is one of his most notorious heroes, and this game certainly shows why. They secure a team fight, they will secure the racks, with no buyback and Crystallize. Is this game? Got a question if this is game. Then he gets the blink out, he'll be fine. Team Spirit already starting right-click away at the racks. I mean, they can't get Megas right now, so NAVI, they will stick around. They're not giving up just yet. But they will have to take a good team fight here. They'll have to as soon as they respawn. Buy a little bit more time with that glyph. But I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if they have the damage output against the Chaos Knight. They will have another God Strength from Sven. There's no Phantasm. This is the best that's going to get for NAVI. We're also kind of low on mana. No Demonic Purge on FNG. But they're waiting away the Ancient. They want to end this game right now. They don't want this to turn into another 60 minutes slugfest. And the arrow lands on Shadow Shaman. He's down. Bites back immediately. Roger doesn't have the same luxury. Glorified melee creep at this point anyway. Crystallight comes in. Leap still comes out. And defensive disruption onto Mirana. Illidan down to half health. Starts to right-click away with the crit. Healing himself up. Crystallize. His BKB will expire now. The stun. The drag back from the Reality Rift Fiber. Also right-clicking away. The old Scepter will try and back Crystallize a little bit more time, but he will fall. Does have buyback. Mirana did fall, but DK forwards. He's gonna teleport right in. Mirana already pulled the trigger on the TP scroll, so he cannot hit you right there. NAVI still somehow they are in the game, but Illidan with that where's he at? Seal up a little bit on the heart first. You know, the rest of the team controlling up the disruption into arrow once again. This crazy combo, and that will lead into another kill. Dandy also has buyback, and at this point though, everyone has used it on the side of Navi. Everyone had available general, still 100 gold off, and now Chaos Knight dropping everything that he can on the defensive disruption, buying him more time. DK Phobos in front with the pipe, with everything, just keeping his friends alive. And the Ancient, the big one, down to low health. They get general, they get Dandy. GG is forced out. Navi, they are out of the Galaxy Battles Hero Qualifiers, just like that. Team Spirit coming up swinging in game number 1. They wavered a little bit, but not here, not in game number 2. And this is what can happen when a Chaos Knight actually gets farm in the early game. He becomes unstoppable. 10-0-9 on Illidan. Roger, this Night Stalker pick has not worked out in the slightest. Dandy in general, like, Navi felt completely passive this entire game. Team Spirits free to do whatever they wanted, and Navi just try to rely on the Sven farm. That's the only thing that they had. Sven farming up with the cleave and all these jungle stacks. But up against this kind of a lineup, with a super tanky Chaos Knight that even with a farmed Sven you can't easily kill, with FNG behind him with the defensive disruptions, with a Mirana who always gets leaps off, it's an Underlord with all of this utility. It's not enough. Sven is not enough. Navi learned that the hard way. They drop 2-0 here. Damn. Alright. That'll be that. Next game will be taken over by Breaky. That'll be Vega Squadron versus Empire. The winner of that will then face up against Team Spirit later today. That final is scheduled to start at 1900 Central European time. The next game's scheduled to start in about 40 minutes. So, that'll be right here on this stream most likely. But that's me done for the day. If you enjoyed the cast, you can follow me on Twitter at DragonDropDota. In the meantime, thank you guys very much for watching, and see you next time.